We're live.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Yes, indeed. Excited to be here. I'm excited to be here this evening, I have to say. I hope you guys are as well.
Always, always.
Good. It's going to be an interesting night, I hope. I know when we last left off, you guys had gotten a clue. Sort of. Towards something. Do you remember what that was?
All heads face towards Brim.
Yeah, you do the talking, please.
Okay, poor Prim.
This one I cannot remember, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I will give you guys this one because you normally are very on the ball. I owe you one, we'll say. The clue was in regards to a missing vessel, an exploratory vessel,
Right.
captained by James Dunbrow, the Standard.
That's right.
That was the clue.
And Kaz is very insistent. We should definitely go check that out.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Kaz is all about strange missing ships. It's a hobby of his, I think.
Especially one's called the Standard. Yeah.
The Standard.
I should probably ask it. Would this captain have been famous or something?
He was to a degree. I believe it was a history role that figured it out.
I'm wondering if the captain of the Orti knew of him more than we would.
Ooh.
Well, remember, it's not the captain you've been talking to.
No,
It's the engineer.
That's right.
That's fair.
Doesn't mean he might not know, but I mean, it's worth a try. It's not a sad idea at all.
Don't mind me as I sidle gently in the side door.
You're an Olam. That's normal.
Hey, we were just talking. We were just
How long has he
talking
been
about
there?
The engineer.
So yeah, we're pretty much almost all gathered, I think, if not all gathered. For those of you who may just be joining us, this is a completely unique homebrew world, unique to the homebrew roleplay community. We're playtesting it right now, so to speak, the world of Cairn, and these lovely individuals are adding so much life to the world by bringing their own interpretations of the basest of core materials, which I thank you guys for again and again and again. I hope you don't get tired of hearing it. But yeah.
Truly, I always dreamed to be a plant.
Who doesn't, really? Plant life, man, seriously. Right across the abdomen, plant life.
I just dream to be the spirit of plants, thank you. Make me a fey creature, and I'll be happy.
That's fair.
Oh my god.
Get it across your knuckles and really confuse people.
I was absolutely counting out letters to see if it was Nucktats. Unfortunately, we are slightly asymmetrical for Nucktats.
Unless you have 6 fingers on one hand and then it's not.
I
Chet,
mean,
you literally just reminded me of a song by Blur. I don't know if you know it. It's called Park Life, but when you said Plant Life, I just got that song in my head.
I know the song you're talking. Don't sing it so we don't get dinged. But I know the song you're talking about.
I remember you thinking of Prince Pop Life.
Oh, that's a good one too.
Definitely. That one's good too. Yeah.
But I
So
mean,
I have a question. When we boarded the Ortiz, did any of us actually look around and see if there were any like captain's diaries or logs on the Ortiz when we first got on board? I don't recall. I know we've been talking to the ghost of engineer, but did we look for any documentation?
If I remember right, I think we did look, and I think Saoirse may have actually found like some documents on the desk, but like she couldn't make heads or tails of it because it's just like, what'd she gonna do with them?
yeah. I think you guys did pretty much exhaustively search the Orti, if I remember correctly. The only thing you did miss was Erebus hiding in the mechanical room.
And he turned up eventually.
He did. He did. Strange little guy that he is. So, in that case, we're almost caught up to speed. You guys did find a strange oubliette. You fended off a bunch of void walkers in the process and survived. Hopefully nobody's infected. I think we determined that no one's infected on an official level.
Everyone was clear.
I checked everyone medically, and everyone was given a clean bill of health.
Yeah, I'm fine, mate.
Physically, we were told we were physically healthy.
Yeah, stop poking at me.
I'm fine. This is fine. Everything's fine. I've been desperately trying to infect at least one of you with something at some point, but you guys have been very resilient so far. Doesn't mean it won't happen in the future. We'll keep trying.
Gotta love the +8 con save.
Yeah, hitting you is probably the worst idea possible, if that's my goal, right?
Speaking of, did you see Wilhelm's surgery garb?
I did.
Beautiful.
We should probably work that up into a thing.
Yeah, I know. We've talked about it a couple of times. I wanted to at least draw it up to show how probably terrifying he is in that.
The Plague Doctor garb.
Oh,
The
beautiful.
red so you don't see the blood.
Exactly. Oh, thank you, Prim. Thank you. Let's see, we had this one and this one.
Loving it, Wilhelm.
There we go. Yeah, now we're talking. All right. So, all right. So we've reboarded the Orti. I believe we were just about to start moving again. Is that right?
We were, in fact, working our way up to it.
All right. So repairs are done. We kind of have a plan in motion to search out the potential resting place of the Orti. Not the Orti.
The standard. The standard. Definitely, there is no resting place to the Orti. No.
It's
no.
resting here momentarily.
Resting
can
peacefully.
Can we also mention the brain meld?
Oh,
There was an attempted thought string.
Hey.
It
Hive
tired
mind,
listener out a
hive
little
mind.
bit,
Hive mind, hive
Trying.
mind.
but it was pretty hype.
And I don't know if you guys have noticed this. I ended up leaving it on purpose. But on our display there, we've got all the character images. I actually left the background of listener black and murky intentionally because he's in such a dark place.
The darkness is not all terrifying. The worst he can complain about is the lack of nutrition there, but as a plant, he has not learned to fear it.
This is good. It probably doesn't fear very much, honestly.
Nah,
Maybe
he's working on it though.
Seven dust might give him a little quake.
Yeah, just a bit. Just a touch.
So yeah, without further ado, let's launch this puppy. Ginkgo wants me to throw something really scary at you tonight, so I'll consider that.
We also didn't mention the very definitely cursed everything in the upper floor of the oubliette that Listener and Wilhelm saw and then immediately left.
Or the fact there was a living body in a crate.
Yes.
Or formerly living body in a crate.
Yes, somebody crated up a corpse, which
Oh.
exploded into a deeply corrosive and unpleasant dust.
No, it was still alive.
Oh, that's bad. But they crated it living, and then it was dead.
Because there were marks of it
You mean-
trying to escape said box.
was that like, Nigel? Was the signs of escape pre-death?
Pre-death.
Well, anatomically speaking, there was what appeared to be blood and tissue. I assume
so
that
it-
would be more a living creature than an undead creature.
Also
Could go
remember
either
that the dusted remains that came filtering from the crate ended up burning the surfaces they landed on with a
Yes.
corrosive nature.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the blood could have been dried blood, ancient dried blood, so it could have been long dead.
Well,
Just saying.
without proper testing, it could have been Nestle Quick.
Yes. Maybe that is a very highly corrosive substance in this world.
Oh, Ginkgo,
We'll never know.
there's no Goliaths in this world, but I will figure something out to get Arnold back in the game. All right,
That
so
creature in the box suffered the harm die. The most ancient of curses.
yeah, we did have Dwayne. So yes, let's pick up. As fun as this is, we are aboard the RT.
Yes.
Plans have been made.
Yes.
Take it away.
All right. I will make a note before we leave that we have repressurized our oxygen tanks.
Yes, you
This
have.
is incredibly important.
You guys did some fantastic maintenance work.
And now, before descending into the depths once more, I will reactivate the oxygen tanks to circulate air through the Orti.
Smart move. Very good. Very good.
And then, I don't know, I guess find Genesis, get everybody sorted, decide who's going to be on boiler duty for the moment.
So I've decided at this point, the livestock on board are going to start becoming a little more active. They've been hemmed up on board this thing for a while.
It's true.
Waste disposal has not been discussed.
Shovel it out the moon.
Yeah, we should probably get on that. Just, heave ho and.
But they
Dump it
are
out.
restless at this point, especially the Fennecs. They are,
Wait! I'm confused. I thought I've been shoveling that stuff into the fire. Was I not supposed to put that in there? It makes very
Oh,
good
that
no.
works. That works.
Is that what the smell has been?
Oh no!
Yeah, I mean, I told you last time. I've been spending some time with the Fennecs a little bit, but nobody's asked me what I was doing with them.
Were we supposed to? Oh no!
I thought it smelled a bit ripe in here.
Whew.
Well, I just figured that we had to get rid of it somehow, and we needed something to help fuel and not waste up all of the coal. So, I
It's
kept
not.
shoveling it in. Kaz, did you not notice? That's why I was smelling a little ripe.
It's not a
Oh,
bad
no.
plan. It's not a
I
bad
mean-
plan.
I don't really have much of a sense of smell anyway, so
Well, yeah, you are a dwarf.
yeah. And I ride a void lizard.
That's
So-
true. Jeff
I have-
Jeff is clean. He's a clean creature.
Yeah. Guys, I have synesthesia.
Oh, that's rough.
Oh no! Oh no!
What does
Oh
poo
no,
smell
she's
look
seeing
like?
she's seeing blue.
Oh.
What does poo smell look like?
Or sound like.
As the dwarven senses can smell the difference between granite and slate, but couldn't tell bread from fennec dung if his life depended on
That's right, exactly.
Oh no!
It's okay. It's okay. I think we've worked out that it's going to be happening one way or another, and that's the important thing. Otherwise, we will start having to make some more disease checks.
You forget that Uki's, been around livestock because of horses in the military, and you become efficient about what you do with waste. And at least I wasn't trying to reuse it for food because it's very clean. They eat very cleanly,
Mind you, think about it. We could put it in a big pot, and a listener could stand in it. He'd get really tall.
Oh no.
Now, you see, there is something of a symbiotic relationship, but it's essential to allow it to decompose further and intermingle with the soil. And there is very little soil here.
Also
That's
true.
true.
Also true.
And once the Ogham pass the budding stage, it becomes much less necessary, and we derive much more of the sustenance from the water.
Listener is very smart when it comes to matters of the dirt.
I mean, he's a plant.
Yeah,
Yes.
I know. I mean, he should be. It's good. So,
He's
I'm
good
gonna
at dirty.
start firing everything up.
Alright.
It seems like time.
all right. So the boilers are lit, fires are going, this furnace is stoked, and if you guys are ready to move, I will give listener control. We're gonna move the Orti down just a bit on the other map
Mm-hmm.
to get you started.
All right, let me start
I'm
my
gonna-
timer up.
I'm gonna save you a little time. We'll get you down the tunnel a little bit there.
Appreciate it.
Whoa. All right, yeah. There we go.
All right, I'll call that the starting position, and I've set my timer.
All right. So the Orti is on the move. Those little tentacly legs crawling along through the horrifically toxic water. Okay, so. Uh-oh. Why is the carrier ant rolling animal handling?
Well,
Because
that's not
he's in charge.
good. Supervisor ant.
And he's got a +4 too. My goodness,
Wow, that's not
That-
right.
that's
Something's
impressive.
weird's going on.
that is impressive.
Where did it get a little hat from?
Oh no! For some reason, I imagine him in the little green accountant's sunshade.
Oh no.
Oh, that's
It's the
even
visor.
better.
Oh, I was
This is
doing a
Room for the
yellow hard
antennae.
hat.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
that's so good.
I'm thinking a high vis yellow jacket.
God, with the Phoenix crossing the street and him holding up a stop sign. So yeah,
Even cuter.
we are on the move. The discussion for those of you who are just joining us about the livestock, they have 4 rideable large-eared foxes called Phoenix and a very large giant ant called a carrier ant on board with them. And not to mention the void lizard Jeff, but we'll talk about Jeff another time. He's special.
Mm.
Don't pet Jeff.
Don't pet Jeff.
Don't mess with Jeff. Don't think too hard in Jeff's direction. I learned that one from
Yeah,
experience.
he's not joking. He's not joking. That's not a pleasant place to be, Jeff said.
We're gonna have a conversation one of these days.
Yeah, one of these days.
Right, there, step.
Oh, I heard it. That's the Orti cruising. Do-do-do-do-do-do. All right. So, I'm gonna designate that Slatra is in the mess hall cooking, and Erebus is off meandering about doing Erebus things. What are the rest of you doing?
Excuse me.
Well, I guess Kaz will go downstairs and shovel coal a little while.
Good, good. So Kaz is down in the furnace. Looks like Saoirse and, well, Erebus too is down there. That's fine. And Jeff, of course. Is anybody else doing anything dice or ruling wise relevant?
Up at the helm.
I am going to try to somehow create a hydroponic system
Oh,
using a combination of my plant knowledge, my technology knowledge, and my building skills.
okay. So this is going to be a feat to pull off.
Yeah, I
Primarily,
figured this is
prim-
a work in progress.
well, your biggest challenge is going to be potable water.
You might know a guy.
Yeah, well, I just mean a steady supply enough to run a hydroponic system. versus what you have on board for drinking. It's a limited supply.
He may still know a guy.
It's true. It's true. But we can get the we can get that going. We can get that going. Wilhelm, tell me what you want to do first. I'm gonna let you kind of guide that crazy train.
I'm gonna try to build an apparatus. I feel that that's to see if I can even create something before I go asking for water.
Okay. So the basic framework is what you want to work out.
Exactly. Some sort of bowl system, so that I can submerge plants in a nutrient-enriched water to try to do that.
Okay.
Perhaps see if I can suspend it from the ceiling in the little med bay I've been using. Something I can use to grow herbs.
All right. So let's pull Wilhelm up. There you are. Wilhelm Ignatius Abernathy Medicus Kirador. Wilhelm, for sure.
Yes.
This is going to be interesting. Let's see. Let's start with... Let's just go basic intelligence for you to work this out.
Okay.
DC... We're going to go up kind of a little high. This is a little out of your wheelhouse. This is a little closer to engineering than medicine.
DC is X.
DC 17.
All right.
You still got a good shot. Wilhelm's very smart.
Nope.
No. So you've got all this glassware in your medical lab, and you're looking at the the pipettes and the flasks and the beakers and test tubes, and you're looking at them and you're like, well, I could use this for that and this for that, and I could put this here, hang that there. The thing that is escaping you is, how is this all going to fit together in a way that it won't just fall completely off the ceiling? These are all separate pieces of glass. You know nothing of glass blowing or glass melding or anything to do with glass other than this is, a flask, this is a beaker. So this is where you're running into trouble. We'll let you have another shot at it down the road, so it's not over.
Yeah, this is a project. I expect that in the free time he's going to be working on creating this, so he can create like an herb garden, so he'll have fresh herbs to create his poultices and stuff from.
That is definitely not a bad idea, considering we have no idea how long you will be on the Orti. But you guys have kind of made a home here. Everyone's cozy, it feels like.
Crap, that means you're going to crash it.
Wow. I mean, I wasn't, but now that you mention it.
That's such a good idea.
Thanks for putting that in my head. So
You got a little double tracking going on there, Kaz. Is anybody else hearing that, or am I just messed up?
I didn't hear it.
Not too sure.
No, now it's gone. All right. Well then.
Going off the rails of the crazy train there.
Don't mind me just hearing voices.
It's okay. It's okay. It's nothing new for listener, really.
Nah, not really.
Oh, I heard it. We're on the move
Yep,
again.
we have rounded the corner, in fact.
This is good. This is good. We are making good time and good progress. This is actually the chute you guys didn't go down, I believe.
Yes, that was our destination because we really do not feel like crossing the underwater lava river just yet.
Magma.
Magma.
So, is anyone else doing anything? No?
Nothing
Just
I
up
can
there
think
assisting,
of.
you know,
Okay.
doing what I can do.
So still just steady shoveling coal. At this point, Genesis, you're starting to kind of become a decent navigator. You've been kind of right front and center, assisting, co-piloting, navigating as best you can. So I want you to keep in mind that this is the beginning of an actual skill for you.
An actual what now?
An actual skill that you'll be able to use both on and off the Orti.
Ooh.
Subterranean navigation. It's very specific, but I'm sure it'll be handy at some point.
Various important things are underground.
Yes. You guys have actually spent a decent amount of time underground in your careers here, adventuring through Cairn. So, as you round the corner,
Yep, just taking another step now.
welcome back. Everybody give me a perception roll that wants to. You don't have to, as
Ooh,
always.
okay.
Perception rolls are always optional.
I love making perception rolls.
10, 16, 21, Saoirse. Nice. 16 for listener. 23 for Wilhelm.
Nice.
He doesn't miss much. In the carrier in. 10. It's a good try, carrier in.
He's busy. He's busy.
Uki with the 14. Alright, so let's see. Kaz, Saoirse, listener, Wilhelm. You guys start to notice the temperature dropping. Right now it's just kind of a mild chill. It's not anything terrible, but it's a drop and you noticed.
Sus. Highly.
That's fine. It's fine, I'm sure.
Yeah,
God,
Saoirse's
fire.
going to take her cloak and draw it in closer around her shoulders. She's got on a long sleeve Lena, but it is linen, so
Yeah, no, it's
that cloak will be wool.
Uki is actually feeling quite comfortable now.
she's getting back into home turf now.
Get back into it a bit. And who is it who's trying to work on the hydroponics?
Well,
Wilhelm. Okay. So yeah. One of the things about Uki is that she's not just actually been shoveling this manure, but she's actually been putting some of it aside because of the idea of that. What she thinks about is manure as being acidic and also being something perhaps to come up with for ammonia nitrate to make explosives with. So if we have a discussion about maybe using some of this to, we can find a way to compost it. So it'll be some soil as well. But she's not actually just been shoveling all of it into it because it's realized it's like, oh yeah, explosive, ammonia nitrate, ammonia, uric acid coming from the animals. We've got a couple, the animals are actually producing stuff that yes could get us sick, but also could be useful in various manners
it's
for
very,
explosives. That's
very, very smart and very likely to come from the resident sharpshooter. So yeah, no, that's great. I will ultimately allow it. Oh my. All right, so we have potential explosives being crafted down the road, a potential hydroponic system being crafted down the road. The Orti is about to become a very viable and dangerous place.
Explosive, yeah.
Well, what could go wrong? So, the temperature is continuing to drop very slowly. Those of you who are aware notice.
Kaz is going to be shoveling more and more coal as fast as he can to keep the temperature up.
Yeah, Kaz probably isn't noticing too much if he's working the furnace, to be honest.
That's true.
he
But
probably
like,
he probably feels a little better.
If he's shoveling coal in the furnace and he's starting to sweat a little bit less.
Yeah.
Unusual.
Like I said,
Saoirse's,
go ahead.
Saoirse's going to come up and look out the window at the front here. Does she see anything?
Just what you can see on the alternate map screen. Nothing really showing. I tell you what, give me a perception check. What do your Shanakesian eyes see?
Okay.
Not really anything out of place. More darkness, more dreary, toxic water, the occasional strange-looking mutant fish that'll flicker by.
No frost on the windows or anything?
No, not yet. Could happen in the future.
I'd like to head up to the steering area
The helm?
and the helm.
Yes, we're up and about.
Not the Wilhelm, is it? What's up? Sorry, I couldn't resist.
You just got disadvantage on your next roll.
Trying to punish me for the dad joke. What's up?
Just looking out from there to see if I can see any particular reason it might be getting colder.
Yeah, give me a perception roll.
Have you noticed it seems to be the temperature seems to have gone down?
Oh, what do you mean? It's just not sweltering in here anymore, or? Wait a second.
It's not sweltering in here anymore.
Wait a second.
So-
I believe something creeps into sight.
At this point, everyone is starting to notice the temperature drop. It is starting to actually get chilly aboard the Orti. The light does indeed illuminate what appears to be ice crystals along the cavern walls and floor, going up in what appears to be potentially a ramp-shaped slope. There is also a great deal of icy sediment starting to be seen. Nothing dangerous or threatening, not large pieces or anything, but little bits of ice crystal floating amongst the water, slightly tinged brown and black by the toxicity.
I will cover this last non-ice hex at normal speed, but then I'll be reducing speed because I suspect the ice is a less stable surface.
Okay. You haven't seen how the Orti handles on ice yet, have you?
No, as an underwater walking submarine, I can only assume it's going to be weird.
It's true. Could be. We shall have to see.
Like an at on Hoth.
Well, we saw how easy those fall over.
Only if they got ropes.
True. This is true. Wouldn't be the first time that things came up out of the sediment and chased you, though.
That's true.
Uh-oh. I heard it.
Yep. Oh no.
That's
Something else is coming to view. Would you care to tell me about that?
So, basically, what you're looking at is the ice flow ahead does indeed ramp up to a point in the ceiling where you can see another ice flow meeting. So it's basically you're coming into a wedge of ice. However, there is some natural light coming through the ice itself. Natural, potentially natural. It could be unnatural, could be unholy, who knows. But yeah, there is a light source beyond the ice that's coming through.
What was that about explosives again?
I mean, you do still have cannons.
That is true.
It's an option.
Might be an option to back up a little bit and then. And
Do
then
we
fire the
n-
cannons.
But do we know what's up there? Just shooting cannons at what could potentially be something on the other side of it.
Or someone.
Exactly my point.
Well, we
Don't
can
nec-
get a little closer to examine before we begin opening fire on anything.
This could also be a mission for the suits to see if they can see more information up close where the ship can't go.
Yeah. Alright.
Of course, you play the song you made that's named Ice Flow.
Is it playing on your end?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, we appear to be right up on it now.
Okay. You are actually up on the wedge now. There is no further you can go. You may want to do a full stop.
Oh yeah, I bring it down to a rest. I'd already slowed, so it's not got too much further to go.
Yeah. So as the tentacled mass beneath the orty that adds your ambulatoriness, it goes up onto the ice. The individual tentacles, you notice, actually somehow manage to spike in, so they're not slipping.
So stable.
Yeah, you actually are very stable right now. Our orty comes to a perfect stop, probably more so than it would normally. The ice does not give as much as the sediment does, so you are stationary, staring at a sheet of ice above you that's fairly smooth. You don't see any movement or anything, but you do see the light coming through. Of course, everything you see is a little distorted still, so...
If we look up, because I should have a decent view here from the helm, I would like to estimate the thickness of ice between here and whatever other side has light on it.
Okay.
Preferably the surface.
This is going to be a tough one.
That's fair.
Between here and there.
Give me a... we're going to do investigation on this one. And we're going to do it at disadvantage because you're looking through glass, through ice, through water.
Mm-hmm.
Can I, since I'm also there, like try to run calculations with it?
I'll let you make an individual roll. This is a tough one.
Okay.
No, you just gotta be lucky is all. See? Like that.
15, not bad.
Bear with me, I stepped away from the computer for a second.
How dare you?
And boy.
I can't believe you've done this.
Would you guys like me to roll for him?
I'm sure he'll be back momentarily.
My rolls are always terribly unlucky when I roll for players.
Yeah.
I just think it'd be funny. It'd be like crit fail.
Oh look. Twin ones.
Do an investigation roll and break his leg somehow.
No.
What happened? I don't know.
Just it's on the top flight. Doesn't it fall down just the one flight of stairs? He falls down all of them down to the bottom next to Kaz. Okay. What are you doing?
There you go.
Away from the
13.
jar.
Disadvantage. So
13.
13 was disadvantaged.
Okay.
Oh, it's not 13s and lows.
So I will say this. listener, based on your role, you can't gauge thickness, but you can tell that there is something on the other. There is a space on the other side of it.
Okay.
It's not solid. There is something beyond the sheet of ice above you.
Let's back up a bit and make a hole.
Let us confer. He starts making his way down the hatch.
Mhm. All right.
Seem to gather mainly here on the second floor.
Story time.
Yes.
All right. What would you like to tell your crewmates?
For those who have not yet observed, there is a great sheet of ice forward of the vessel. Now, I'm something of a connoisseur of light, and have been able in the past to distinguish between sunlight and other artificial light sources.
Mm-hmm.
Did it feel like sunlight to me?
There were hints of it.
Okay.
Uki
May
Is it
be sunlight on the other side.
Well, Uki is a bit connoisseur of ice, being from the mountains and the ice and the icy areas to be able to look at and determine the thickness, thickness of ice based on color, how maybe it occurred based on looking at striations, crystalline formation, and such. Because this is essentially part of where she's from, right?
Oh, I
From
mean, the ice is, yeah.
ice, an icy, a very icy area. So this is part of why she's like. So when listener comes down, she's like, "Oh, it's become so much more comfortable." Reminds me a little bit of leaving the mountains and through the foothills. Or what's I've been distracted here. What's going on?
Ah, my own people do not often venture here. We do more poorly in the cold, but it appears that the surface is frozen solid above us.
Just a little.
Interesting. I mean, I know of the ice lakes the ice lakes and underground rivers that run near the mountain range where I'm from, but I don't know. I know we've been traveling quite a bit underneath. What is I have to wonder what the source of this is and how thick it is, because it's possible we could break through it if it's thin enough, but I'd have to take a closer look. And we also wanted to see if it's something we could break through. I mean, we do have the cannons, but then again, we want to make sure we're not going to wind up creating a greater catastrophe for us, depending on what's above it. You don't want to fire a cannon and cause a force destruction.
This is smart.
Avalanche.
Smart thinking.
It is well visible from the helm, if you wish to observe.
I think I'll take a look.
All right.
Yeah, I'll take a look.
All right. We're going to do the same for you guys. Disadvantage still, but that's just because of the layers that you're looking through.
Investigation or perception?
Investigation.
Dang it.
16.
Wow, that's considering I had disadvantage of nat 20.
And 10. So, Kaz, you'll see pretty much the same thing. You can see the space beyond, but you're having trouble gauging how thick the ice is. And Uki, you're just marveling at something that makes you nostalgic and kind of distracted.
Yes, I mean, one of the advantages for her, she's cold resistant, being a hypothetian. So if anything, feeling a bit more. She's feeling a bit more relieved and energetic than she has before. This heat has been really dragging on her, so she's not been very vocal or verbose
Yes.
because it's really just physically exhausting, the heat exhaustion getting her.
Feeling closer to home.
Yes.
But yeah, do you guys want to get out in your suits and go take a look? You know how much I love it when you get in your suits.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Best one to do that is probably Uki, and Kaz will be there to back her up.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, I'm not wearing enough clothes for this.
Just go stand by the furnace. It's nice and warm by then.
Poor Genesis, the desert dweller.
Technically, I think a good majority of us are warm weather people. Kaz and Uki are probably the only exceptions here.
Yeah. I think, Saoirse, you would have experienced, like, nominally cold winters. You know, kind of a standard 4-season type thing, nothing too extreme. Wilhelm would know cold for sure. Being from Armun, they do have fairly cold winters.
Okay, I guess I just assumed, just because of the location of both of them on the map, that it would stay pretty warm. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Abattoir and all that are like more up north than where Wilhelm and Saoirse are from.
Oh, yeah. A lot of that's environmental. Like where you're at, it's you get a standard 4 seasons, more or less, where you were living in the woods there. Whereas over on the eastern hemisphere, where like Abattoir and all that is, the damage was so significant that there's kind of a greenhouse effect.
Significant desertification.
Yeah.
Give me a nice, humid, subtropical island, me.
Oh, yeah.
Pop me out in the sun. Relative humidity 1,000,000.
The one that you were born on, more or less.
Yep.
So listener would be happy where we live, IRL.
Yes.
Yes, very. So, what do you guys want to do? Want to get out? Want to fire some cannons? Want to?
I think Uki would like to get out first to investigate a little bit closer, rather than fire the cannon just at this time.
All right.
Because part of it is to examine it, to try to examine closer to see what that thickness is, because it will make a difference about whether it is simply something that could be physically, using a spear or something, or is it going to require a small cannon? If it's going to require a cannon, she wants to be careful about how much shot or whatever is going to be put in there, like how much powder is used.
Yeah.
So as far as she doesn't want to put a whole bunch of firepower behind it and cause
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Is anyone going with Uki?
Yes.
Okay, so Kaz. Kaz
I
is
can
going.
already see her like knocking on it, like doop 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 doop, and then just a little voice from inside goes, "Who's there?"
Hello. I will be.
Roll for initiative.
I'm going to
Yeah.
with me. Tink 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 tink.
$1 billion.
Oh no! All right. So Kaz and Uki. Anyone else going?
No, a listener says, "Take care. I will stay.
Okay.
I do not believe the water would treat me well."
It's fair.
And
All
she's
right.
taking her spear with her.
Okay. Give me survival rolls, the two of you, as we put your suits on.
All right. So
You may take them assisted, obviously. We're not going. We'll
Yeah.
help you into your suit.
Yeah.
no,
Whoa.
assisted, so you get to roll
Yeah.
again.
For sure. Oh my goodness.
They did say assisted before you rolled, so I'm gonna let that go.
I was sneaking it in as fast as I could.
Okay, got it. Okay, so
One more roll.
one more roll.
One more
Under
roll.
survival. How
Yeah.
did you do that?
Just roll a second survival. It's all
Okay.
good.
Oh, good God.
Okay.
Jeez.
Rough.
I guess he's a little too dehydrated after being in, in the hot spots for a while.
That's all right. So, Uki's suited up. Kaz is suited up. You're at the edge of the moon pool. Gonna splash in?
Got my spear, ready to splash in.
All right.
May we hook them to the tether before they go? That's our standard practice.
If you'd like. I mean, you don't have to.
That's what we usually do. Just making a note of it. You know?
And
That's
just
fair.
so I'm like aware, we don't have any reason to think that there's anything wrong, right?
No.
No, we don't know shit.
Yeah, so we're good. They're in the suits, tether, and
Yeah, they've done this before.
Months
It's
away.
fine. It's
yeah,
fine.
it's okay.
I can hear a little edge of panic there. It's fine. It's fine. All right, so you guys,
The House of Fire. This is fine.
you're tethered. You splash in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll drop in.
Okay. You both drop in. I believe, what was it, about 30-foot drop? If I remember correctly, from the moon pool to the ground where the Orti would be standing. You sink down. The weighted suits, of course, bring you down to the edge of the ice, and you land kind of solid. Slip around a little bit. The boots are not that spiky or anything, but you'll be able to gain your footing. You are standing on the incline. What do you do from here?
Let's move a bit closer. Get a
Yeah.
get a good look.
Get a little closer.
And
Look.
looking around as well behind us, making sure nothing's coming up.
All right. So give me dex checks, please. Dex save.
Oh, no.
Roll.
Okay.
Is this like a trap thing? Because I get advantage to things I can see.
It's not a trap, no.
Did I get the right? Did I use the wrong one? Oh, I wrote
Right,
wrong one,
it's
right?
it's not just traps. It says advantage on dexterity save throws against effects that they can see.
Basically,
Things
this
like-
is to keep your footing on the ice.
Things like this make me wish we had a quotes channel, so I can just.
So that would count.
This is
right?
not a trap.
Yeah, no, I'll let that count. I'll let that count, Kaz. You're fine.
Just in case.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So the two of you managed to keep your footing. We're going to make one more roll, just for the distance, and the fact you are on an incline going fairly steep as it really takes its upturn. Ooh,
Oh.
look at that.
Nice.
Show off. All right.
Stable.
Somersault.
I know.
How? You're in the water.
Has slips, does a 360 lands perfectly good. No, I'm
Cat
good.
is astral projected into the body of an elf.
He's very nimble for his size. So yeah, you guys make it right up to the ice shelf ahead of you, and you're standing at it. You can see the light filtering down through the ice. Now that you're up close to it, you can see some elements, like dark patches beyond, so to speak. So you can see like there's something in there. It's not moving or anything, but something kind of large beyond it. It very distorted by the ice and the toxicity that is frozen within it. There's a lot of particulate matter in the water with you right now.
So it's floating around us as well. So is it murky?
Yeah, a little bit, but it's ice particulate matter, and it's dark ice.
Church, did you freeze an elder being in a glacier and then try and trick us into freeing it?
Would I do that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my.
What
Oh my-
elder beast have we pissed off instead? Oh, it's the angler.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
There's our tie-in.
Full circle.
The
You know, it'd be even
angler.
worse than an elder being, though.
Draken?
Just straight up lava. Just like straight up lava. Just.
Well, I've already done lava
We've
on
done
this
the
trip.
lava. It's trite.
That's old hat at this point.
Yeah,
Little known
this-
fact,
Wait,
I'm
I
retiring
wasn't
Wilhelm to
finished.
become Draken again.
I wasn't finished. You know what would be worse than lava? Lava beholder.
Well, I mean,
That would be pretty good.
That would be bad.
No, I mean,
I like it when
this
you
is
give
just
me
a-
ideas.
Oh
This is
no!
just-
I shouldn't have said that.
this is just frozen Yawgmoth. Don't worry about it.
It's all right. It's fine. It's fine. Nyarlathotep is very nice when you meet him in person. What are we doing from here? What are we doing from here?
When you say there's something beyond that's dark and large, as in like some
Large,
kind of frozen creature, or
a large
moving.
dark shape.
is it moving or is it completely still?
No, there is no movement. It's just a large block of darkness, more or less.
But it seems to be within the ice and not necessarily sitting on top of the ice.
It's past the ice.
Does it look, oh, I don't know, shaped?
Size-wise, potentially it could be. Yeah, I mean it's that big.
So I think that what I'd like to do is maybe get a bit. I mean, there's dark shapes, but there's also there's areas where it's clear. Correct?
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah. So I'm wondering, like, can I see? I'm just trying to think that my thought is that if there are areas where we can see darkness, that we can see the darkness of something upon it, then perhaps it is like not as thick as it possibly could be. So the question is whether is it something that I can use my spirit to try to get to an area and try to just chip away and create a hole, like a peephole. I say peephole, porthole. I think.
You could try, but Uki, your right leg just lit up like on fire in pain. Not literal fire, but it just lit up. You are hurting really bad. You just took 3 points of damage on your right leg. You're not sure why.
Ruh-roh.
I've got
Ruh-roh.
I have my spear in my hand. I'm going to turn and see if there's anything on my leg.
There's nothing on your leg. However, as you look down, you do see bubbles coming out of a small tear in the fabric.
Oh, fudge.
Give the rope a tug, get him to pull you back up.
Tugging the rope. Take me up.
Okay. We've been waiting for just such an event.
All right, so
Alright.
you're tugging the rope.
Tugging the rope.
All right, so letting the rope pull you. We're gonna say it's gonna take about 6 rounds.
Try and
How far away?
That's
is
life
she?
sometimes.
this.
How
This
far
is the
away is she?
moment-
But before I go, before as I'm
How-
getting pulled,
How
I'm-
far away is she?
Well,
6 rounds away.
I can
hang on.
I can grab her. Just let me grab her. I can just let me. I can.
So there's a substantial amount of distance. Let's just say.
Oh no!
So
Okay.
Not
it's a
within line of sight.
it's
Why
a
did I
it's
do-
a 30-foot drop from the moon pool to the ground, and then we'll say that they've traveled another 30-40 feet. So
All
Am I
right.
gonna actually need Pythagoras' theorem for this? Oh no!
It's like half a hex, and we said these hexes are pretty big.
yeah, I'm actually being nice. Truth to be told,
It's very generous.
All right. So I have signaled the Dax that I'm just basically, I'm doing the slash across the throat and
You're
And
getting
then-
pulled?
pointing to me and heading back. I'm like, I'm going up. So
Okay,
and-
so
and-
it's going to be 6 rounds with the pull.
Okay.
The first round we're gonna say is happening right now. You're going to take incrementally more and more damage as we go.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a chance to do something each round, which I leave up to you if you want to try or just let them pull you. It's up to you. So this is the second round. It's 5 points of damage this round. Your right leg is just yangling in pain. Yangling.
Okay.
TM. All right. So that's one.
Yeah. So I'm thinking one of the things that I will probably do is grab the like I'm gonna just grab a piece of cloth out of my tinker's kit or like a band, whatever, and just use it to kind of cut to tie off at the knee. So then that way, at least whatever's coming into my as that liquid's coming in, at least it's just staying in the bottom of my leg.
All right. So this round you tie off above the knee.
Yes.
Okay. So this will be our next roll. 5 points this round.
Okay, hold on while I fix my hit points.
Mm-hmm.
So that would get me down to, okay.
So I think it's 13 total so far.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything this round?
I'm trying to actually pull myself as well as I'm using my spear to help kind of dig in to get myself back a little faster if I can.
All right. We'll shave a round off for that.
Okay.
All right. So next round. 7 points.
Oh,
7
ouch.
points.
Yeah.
7 points.
At this point, your leg is starting to kind of go limp. You're losing sensation. Anything this round?
Going to keep digging in with that spear, using two-handed spear to get myself back on the orty.
All right. Make a Constitution save, and I'll give you a chance to shave one more round off. Close. That was very close. Anybody else doing anything this round?
Panicking. I am panicking. I am
responsible.
full blown.
I am.
I am panicking. I am pulling this rope so hard I'm giving myself rope burns, but I am panicking.
Well, it's got a little motor. We're working the motor on it.
Yeah.
All right.
I am
Kaz
prepping-
put intense on the ship.
You're prepping triage.
And a base bomb so that the moment Uki comes up, I can crack it, neutralizing all the acid around.
Good, smart move. There we go. 5 points for the next round, Uki. And we've got one more. Anything this round?
I'm going to I'm gonna drop my my tinker's tools because it's like it's my tinker's tool, but it's a little bit of weight off of me to help me move faster. Use my spear and just dig
Okay.
because it's definitely my tools or something. I know there might be something. I'm not thinking straight at this point. I'm just moving.
All right.
I'm dropping whatever.
All right, Kaz, pick those up on your way.
I'll be picking all of us stuff up on my back home. Guess you didn't.
Because it's very good from an RP's perspective that she would panic and just start shedding stuff to try and decrease weight, but I don't want her to actually lose stuff.
It
If
would
we
be
can
very
help it.
bad to lose Tinker's
Yeah.
tools, actually.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
Kaz will definitely be following, going, oh, yep, okay, I'll pick
Yep.
that up, put
Still
that
got
in
that
there.
spear going two-handed.
And so our last round, you'll take 7.
Ouch. Man, Uki's
So
brutalized.
as Uki is pulled from the moon pole, she is screaming at the top of her lungs, gripping her leg. The moment she comes out of the water, just red fluid begins to just pour out of the tear in her suit all over the floor. She's got it tied off at the knee. It doesn't look like whatever got in there went past it. It was at least sparred in that regard. but she is yowling at the top of her lungs in pain, and it is reverberating through the ortie, spooking the animals.
Does this red liquid look like blood?
Oh, it is definitely blood and tissue matter.
Okay, well, Saoirse is going to start singing.
Okay. Moments. Nice. All right.
Like I said, base bomb, neutralizing.
Okay, do you want to open the suit first, or?
I
It's not a big
am
tear.
actually going to do it so that it's cleaning the tear as well. So it's basically anything it comes in contact to.
Okay. So, first off, Saoirse, I know this is... We'll stop bleeding. Okay. Now, Uki,
Yeah,
Uki is in a panic right now. So, Uki, I'm gonna put this on you. You're a soldier. You're in a panic. You're in excruciating pain. You're genuinely worried about your leg right now. As far as, are you coming back from this? Are you a willing target for her song, not knowing what it's going to do? I'd leave this to you. If you say yes, it's fine.
I will say that because of the songs that she's done in the past in moments to help us in times of conflict, that that this resonates with her.
Okay, that's
yeah.
perfectly fine. Perfectly fine, and very, very legitimate reasoning. So yes, that will be enough to stop the bleeding. You're not sure about the extent of the injury. We'll see when we get the suit off, but you are helping. I will say that you are helping.
Oh yeah, blood loss is no joke, and this will, buy Uki time, it'll buy Wilhelm time. Like, this is 12 minutes that this is active, and Saoirse will sing it as long as Wilhelm needs.
Excellent.
So,
Yeah.
like, at the end of the song, like, she'll start it up again, just,
Excellent.
Because it's like, I can't remember the name of the song, but I know that I mean, essentially, this is it resonates with Uki because this was actually like one of her first moments of bonding with the party was being in that circus tent and Cersei playing, doing the song then.
That's right.
And so that this has been something that has kind of, now has become sort of almost innate for the connection that, it's different from the connection from listener. This is the connection she has to, as well. So it's like all just in that moment of panic and screaming and everything, this in a way pierces that veil of pain and fright that she's having, which is that in itself is not something she's really used to because she's always very like in control of the situation and knows where she is, and this is just beyond what just all of a sudden unexpected. It's not having an enemy firing a shot at you. So
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So I know, Wilhelm, you hit the suit with the base bomb,
and it's also in theory getting into that area where it was exposed.
Well, I was going to say, before you commit to this, the tear is tiny.
It may be wise to simply remove the paint.
Yeah.
Get her out of the suit while it's salvageable.
I'm gonna get that the leg part off.
Are you cutting it off?
I am. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not gonna pay attention to the integrity of the suit. I will destroy the suit to get her out of it quickly.
No, that's
That's
fine.
such a Wilhelm move.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And I'll give that to you. You
well,
have the
and
tools.
also keep in mind, as you've seen from the moment we first got on and started, is that her comfort is often more concerned than modesty.
Yeah.
So whatever you have to do to that suit, she's not going to. Uki is doesn't care.
That's fine.
Do what you need to do.
So yeah,
Yeah.
he'll pull out his tools. He'll cut the leg off the suit. Cut it away from the suit. He's a professional. In doing so, you reveal the lower half of her leg is absolutely just eaten up, like mangled. As you open it up, just red viscous material, tissue matter, blood, skin just flow out onto the floor. There is exposed muscle tissue and bone on the leg. The base bomb goes off. It immediately begins to froth and sizzle. Of course, Uki again begins to scream at the top of her lungs. Uki, give me a Constitution save, please. All right, Uki passes out.
Okay.
She's unconscious.
That's probably for best.
Probably. So yeah, her leg is mangled really bad. Wilhelm, this is a serious injury. If it were not for the fact that she is playing moments, she would be bleeding out right now.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
I want to use one of my misting hand mortars.
Okay. To do
Now in theory it says for the tinctures it heals 2 a round. So is that for every tincture I put in? It goes for an additional round?
No, they won't really stack that well.
Because it says if released and thrown down, the small orb will begin to expel a mist healing tincture that will cause all within 15-foot radius to heal 2 hit points per round. How long does it last?
Oh, we never did put a limit, huh?
No, that's why I assumed it was the more tinctures, the longer it would last. But yeah, it never actually has a limit.
So we'll say 4 rounds.
Okay, I am setting that off to buy me time.
Okay. Oh.
And I'm going to ask listener to create water. The base is neutralizing the acid, but I need it gone. See if he can wash it away, basically, with clean water.
Okay.
All right. Well, I do have my cantrip for this, and what I would like to do, since he specified, I would like to recast the cantrip until I successfully get clean water roll.
Okay. Well, let's get your first roll then.
Yes. Just make a note there.
Excellent. Excellent. Invisible flask.
I got it in 1.
Fresh, clean water. There we go. So you create the water in the flask. Are you pouring it?
Yes, I'll just upend it essentially over the leg where he appears to want me to be washing off this combination of slowly neutralizing acid and base.
Okay.
Yeah.
So no problem. No problem. This will remove any further contaminants. Debbie, don't hate me. Uki.
She is healing now.
Yeah,
so
she is healing. So you'll take
yes
2 points back right now. I also need you to roll a percentile check, please.
Okay, so I get 2 points back.
2 points
And then
healing back.
Okay, and then I need to run the percentile is a D100 or what is?
Yeah,
right?
D100.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So, the contaminants are washed off. The base bomb has neutralized anything that's remaining. The song is keeping her from bleeding out. The mist is slowly starting to cinch off the exposed blood vessels and coat the wound in a astringent. Thankfully, she's passed out, or it'd be excruciatingly painful. Anything else?
Yes, I am going to start actually treating it.
Okay.
Can I assist with this?
Do you have any medical training?
I have a thing that allows me to heal myself. And I've been assisting Wilhelm with some of the medical stuff.
Are you using your psychic abilities to heal? I can't remember or if you have any of those unlocked yet.
Yes.
That doesn't sound very
Yes.
sure.
Yes. Yes.
What
Yes.
ability are you using?
Quiet focus.
Okay. All right.
And I also have energy medicine at 5th level as well, which was added in.
Yeah, energy medicine might be the better choice.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be ideal. Probably. Let me just read that quickly.
Of course.
Well, here on energies and stuff.
You go ahead and read that real quick. I need to ask Kaz real quick while you're doing that. Kaz, you kind of got left behind. You're still down there, unless you came up. What are you doing while this is happening?
I was like following, but like obviously not as fast. Just picking up her bits as she was dropping it.
Are you coming all the way back up?
Yeah, I'm coming all the way back up.
Okay. All right, just to make sure. And if you're down there all by yourself, we can have all kinds of fun, but that's fine.
Things start to happen.
I wasn't in a rush, but I wasn't like just going, I'll just ignore that entire. No, I was coming back.
Okay.
I was just being careful because the whole slippy surfaces and everything, and
that's all good.
Bits and pieces.
It's all good. It's all good. Okay, so in that case, Wilhelm, you are treating the wound. Tell me what you're doing.
I am going to apply poultices.
Okay.
And bandage over them. How many can I apply? I assume that I have a larger than normal work area since it's her whole leg.
I thought you were going to say something completely different then.
It's her lower leg, basically from the knee down.
Okay.
I'll let you apply 2. I don't want to get into stacking poultices because that.
I don't need. We can go with 1 healing check. I'm using as many as it takes to make sure the leg is properly poulticed over and bandaged.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and make your roll.
Okay.
Can I help?
Well, we're gonna, instead of an assist, we're gonna let you apply your ability separate.
Oh.
So 9.
Better.
All right. So Uki, you heal for 9.
Yeah, 9. I'm keeping the +2 from the botany skill. Okay. I'm not converting it.
That's fine, and this will also seal the wound, more or less. It's no longer
and
open
like I
air.
said, it's bandaged too to make sure that it is completely covered.
All right. And Genesis, what does your ability do for the folks at home?
By utilizing sensitivity to the vibrations of the world around them, the mentalist has learned to channel, focus, and manipulate the energies that make up all of existence on a very small scale. By using this ability, the character may expend an attack slot to instead turn their attack into healing. This of sight and uses a remote line of sight as well to achieve this. The amount healed is a d6 plus proficiency bonus, which for me is 3. This amount is doubled at levels 10, 15, and 20. Since this is literally the manipulation of the physical form via the mind, it has no effect on the undead or constructs.
Okay. Excellent. So yeah, you guys are about to see Genesis bend reality.
Let's not hype it up to that extent.
Oh no, let's hype it. This is the first time they're gonna really see you fly. Like you're about to show some power.
If I roll badly,
you're literally looking at her leg and it's going to heal. That's impressive. Okay. Come on. Own it. Own it.
Walk over and take a deep breath. And
I will require that you do peace bind for this. You will need total focus.
Okay, I look at her leg. I look at her passed out. I look at the suit. My eyes glaze over. And I just breathe, take a deep inhale and get stiff and put the mask on, and I'm like, I have my hands in front of my face. I'm just like, I can't deal with this. Okay, and then I turn back to where I know she is, even though I can't see her, and do this. doesn't roll the thing.
That's right.
It's a D6. Let me roll it. Roll it
D6
separately,
plus
sorry.
3. You're good.
Oh,
All right,
it's
so
only
that's
6.
no, that's great. Remember where we are. That's a lot of healing in this world. So
I
yeah.
just burned so many things and did and healed 17. So
yeah. So yeah, that's an additional 6, Uki. Additional 6 healed back. This will further knit the wound back together. This will replace most of the deep tissue damage, I'm going to say. All right, so any of the musculature and connective tissue that was lost has been replaced, which means with some time and some healing going forward, Uki will be able to recover movement in that limb. She's not going to lose the limb. She's not going to lose the ability to use it. She'll pretty much make a full recovery. Will occasionally have a limp, maybe if it rains. But we'll get into that. Provided that D100 roll wasn't what I was hoping for and she's not infected. But yes, Uki is calm. The pain has subsided. Uki, if you'd like to make another constitution roll to wake up, I'll give you a chance. Okay. Uki starts to come out of it. As you do, of course, you will see everyone standing around you. Genesis, with her peace-bound mask, kind of hand on her head, hand outstretched. You can feel bone and sinew knitting together on your leg. It's a very weird sensation. It's entirely bandaged and poulticed. Wilhelm is standing next to you with his tools spread out. Everyone's very worried looking. But the pain has subsided to a dull ache in your leg now, and you have some sensation back, which gives you a little hope.
What happened? What happened? Kaz? Where's Kaz? I was right by Kaz, and I turned it. How did I get it?
Kaz, you're up there by now.
Yeah, I'm fine. I think it must have, like, I don't know, caught your suit with your spear or something. I don't know. But you'll be alright.
Oh no. Oh no. Is everyone else okay? I didn't. Oh no. What happened? I'm still just like out of it. Just not knowing what's going on. And did anyone else? No one else got this, that was exposed, were they?
everyone is fine. It was handled.
And I got your stuff too.
My stuff? But I have my stuff. What do you mean? Oh.
Nah, I mean, you were throwing your stuff around willy-nilly.
Oh, last thing I know, I had my spear and I was about to try to see if I could, chip away at the clearer ice to see if we could, get a look out and above, and then I recall it feeling this sensation and pain and oh wait, oh no, oh I remember the rope. I remember. Oh my. What did y'all? I can't believe. What did y'all do? I can't believe I'm here. What? Wait. Am I dreaming? Is that my leg? I still have my.
Hey, look. Don't look at it.
Whoa.
Not yet. Don't look at your leg just yet. Just let it heal, right? Best advice I ever had when I was in the Legion was, if you get injured, don't look at it. Let it heal.
I've had near misses and grazes and powder burns and cuts, but this was beyond the pain. The pain just seared into me. I knew this was toxic. I mean, we've talked so much about how toxic it is, or knew of it to be. I never imagined such searing pain entering my body. And I remember a song. I remember it was a song that it reminded me of calm, calm nights. It reached into my, so it reminded me of calm nights in the mountains. It would be quiet and still at night, and it would be cold, but the wind, you'd hear nothing but the wind coming through it. And I remember hearing that song.
Saoirse is going to pipe up at this point and say, I sang a song to uh, stop the flow of your blood, Uki, so that way you wouldn't lose too much.
Well, thank you so much for that. I, I recall, I remember being just in this just pain and pain, and it wouldn't, and I heard that, and it just took me back, quiet, quiet, still night with nothing, and so thank you for that. You've done it. Your song has bolstered me in times of combat, but I had no idea what it could do, what the power of the song at a time when I needed it most, and it was just so much. And Genesis, when I woke, I saw you first. It's like, what you thank you everyone for whatever you've done for me. I'm not a person of many words, but this is just thank you. Thank you for being there for me. I knew when I was alone out, and I first saw everyone and how everyone engaged together. I thought I want to be part of that, and this speaks so much to me that you were there for me when I most needed it. Thank you, everyone.
That would be so cool if I could hear you. Oh. I
As is like,
suck.
oh,
Poor
Wearing
Genesis.
the mask.
She's got the peace-bound mask on.
You could have slipped it off.
We
Tiny
Yeah.
red.
No, I'm still wearing it. I'm
Oh,
definitely
you're
still wearing it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
wouldn't have taken it off. I need to focus.
That's okay. She would have picked up the psychic reverberations of her intention.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
So
Dude, I thought I was about to get my leg cut off.
So I know some of you OGs are very familiar with the environmental dangers of this world because you've seen them firsthand. But for those of you who haven't, welcome to Cairn.
If we seem paranoid sometimes, well, there
it's
you
because
go.
we're paranoid.
We've got really good reason to be.
Yes.
we were ready this time.
Yes.
If that had been me, I'd probably be dead. I have like 39 hit points. This is not a hit point heavy world. You
No.
don't get them back at a long rest. You get one.
Yeah.
You get one.
Yeah, and we all remember those that died before us. Poor Stugnak, who no one liked, and more importantly, our other Hyberstedian, poor Chilele.
Which, I mean, the good thing for Uki is Uki is a fighter, and definitely have a lot of hit points, but that doesn't mean with this kind of situation and the distance and such. And so was this? I mean, I guess the question is this a matter of that I should have checked my suit before I went down, or is it that I snagged it on something, or that I, as Cass suggested, I may have snagged it with my own spear when I went to pull it up?
Honestly, there's no telling. I mean,
Yeah.
if you wanted to investigate, you could, but it's more of a moot point.
Well,
It was
at this
just
point,
a bad roll.
Yeah. It's been cut up and such. Yeah.
I mean, the suits are not new. The Orti is not new. It's actually all kind of old.
Yeah, we've always known that they kind of were pretty bad shape as it was. So it's surprising that this was the first time that this happened.
Plus, I mean, the water. the water is so ridiculously toxic. To begin with, and there was a lot of particulate matter in there. Ice shards that are sharp and whatnot.
Yeah.
So it could have been a lot of things. But you are back in the saddle, more or less.
Yeah, that said,
Hmm.
we did see a large thing up in that crevice, which could be the standard.
Could be.
I mean, probably, maybe.
Are you saying that?
Yeah, I'm saying it. I mean, I saw a large, really big thing up there, stationary. Could have been the ship that we're looking for. Maybe in case nice or just on the other side of the ice. But
Hmm.
I think it. I mean, apart from the bit of bad luck we had, I mean, I'm pretty sure that that's what we came to look for.
The lost ship is more of a cause for concern for me than something I would desire to visit. But if it is on the surface, we may at last be able to flee this dreadful place.
And get out the water. Yeah.
Good old Nether's deep.
I mean, if we back up a little bit, use the cannon fire, make a hole. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, then we haven't really lost anything.
Well, you see, the region is more unstable than the last where we fired the cannons. It may go very poorly if we discharge them and
How
say
about we do?
shake a few rocks loose.
Well, yeah, but if we do one shot at a time, do you see what happens? Just carefully surgical strike
Hmm.
rather than barrage.
Could work. I think you
We
should
don't
try
need
it.
Inevitably, we're going to, but listeners going to have a fun time hemming and hawing first. From the speed at which the cannons might fire, and the speed at which we might bring the Orti around and make our escape, any rock slide that we cause will certainly bury us.
This is why I said about us backing up first. Give a bit of space.
Oh, most certainly. Whatever the range of the cannons is, we would wish to be towards the other side of it. Risk though it may be, I see little choice unless we wish to brave the flowing river of stone again.
Yeah. Not a fan of that either.
I hunker down by Uki. Friend Uki,
Yes. Yes.
do you believe that the cannons could see us through to the other side of that ice?
Yes, I think so. I think we just want to be mindful of not using too much powder to create too much of an explosion, if that makes sense. We want to have enough powder to get to have the force, but too much powder could actually cause adverse cave in if we're not completely sure of how much ice or what's above that, or if the vibrations could cause cause more, there may be something above that could crash upon us. But it's feasible, um, definitely. And I think all four of the cannons should be ready, primed. One of the last things I did when we got on before was I did make sure everything was, all the cannonballs and everything was prepped and ready in case we should need the cannons again.
This is true.
Shall we rest a while before we begin our bombardment? You have only just escaped one danger. You may desire a break before we leap into another.
Yeah.
I think this is wise. Yes, I do. I want to make sure that I am well rested because I don't want to make a mistake. I'm
I
already going over what I may have done. What did I do to my suit? It'd be wise. I don't want to jeopardize anyone else's lives without resting first.
Hey,
I,
look.
I'll give you guys a long rest, uninterrupted, free of charge.
Speaking of breaks, this might be a good opportunity to take one up for ourselves.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
yeah, we can do that. This is our court mandated break.
You keep saying that word.
this
I
one's
don't know what
this,
the
this
word
one's
means.
court mandated. It changes every week. But
Call
yeah,
that a diegetic long rest. We rest and then we're actually gone for 8 hours.
playing in real time, people. All right. No, we will be right back after this message from our sponsors. So stay tuned. Here we go.
Do it.
And we're back. Welcome back, everybody. We were just talking about healing. So yes, we're going to pass our long rest. Everyone who was within a 15-foot radius earlier did receive 8 hit points back who needed it. Wilhelm has pointed that out because of his hand mortar that went off. So just keep that
Nice.
in mind. Beyond that,
Kaz picks off a scab. Oh, that's ready. Good. Excellent.
classic Kaz move.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what is the plan from here? Debbie, or Snacks, Uki, sorry. Let me throw out every name I have there.
Who are you, my mother?
You will probably need something to assist you getting around for a little bit until that heals a little more. It could be something as simple as you using your rifle as a cane. It doesn't have to be anything crazy.
I'd like to rearrange the inventory on the carrier ant and put some cushions on the top to make it a moving bed.
Oh.
You have her roaming around on the carrier ant everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah, roaming around on Jeff probably wouldn't be good for health.
That might exacerbate the wound.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. I'm tying pillows on top, like, and just being the cutest. Just like
Well, also, wasn't it what was it? Archibald? Archibald, was that the name of
Archibald, yes,
Yes,
it
it's
was.
Archibald.
Oh, I'm so
That was
touched that
the
you remember
finest
the
ant.
name of this.
Oh, yeah.
Archie.
Infinite Guardian.
Archie.
He's still wearing the hat, by the way. That's canon.
Of course.
Yeah, Archie's awesome.
It has to happen now. So what is the plan? Do you guys want to still try to get through the ice? You want to turn
I
around
do
and try the
believe-
lava cave?
No. We don't do that here.
Fair. That's fair. I'll let that go.
No, I think we are going to go for the ice. We've got to get the Orti fired up to maneuver it back.
Okay.
Yeah, just one
Surgical-
hex, probably
Yeah.
do.
That's fine.
Surgical strike.
We'll save
Oh,
time
barrage.
and let you move without issue. That's no
Appreciate it.
problem. So,
Shifts.
who's manning the guns?
Mm.
I'll be hobbling up, or I'll have
Uki
You know-
can still do it. You're still capable to fire a cannon.
Yeah.
And I will definitely be assisting.
Okay.
Yeah,
Alright, so-
loading and shit like that, doing the heavy lifting and stuff.
All right, that works.
I don't have strength, so I'm just not gonna say me because that would be unwise.
All right.
Having about 5 different cannonballs in his arm at one time.
Okay. So, well, let's do it then.
all right.
Wilhelm says he'll take her turn in the roll 20 shot.
Okay. What are you taking her turn for?
I think he means on the cannons.
Oh. Well, you could fire 2 at once if you want.
No. Just one at a time for now.
Okay.
One shot, see what happens.
All right. Well,
See
Uki,
what damage is done.
see, I see Uki up there and on the animals.
Next to the cannons on the right. Yeah.
I will make a note. Listener is at the helm, ready to reverse us out if things begin going terribly wrong.
Okay. All right.
We're
Well,
just standing there like a seesaw, like doop 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 doop. Because I'm
Uki,
on the other side of it.
Uki, make your shot there.
Okay.
Roll
And
the
so,
hit.
how should I roll this one?
Just roll to hit, dex based, just like your rifle, we'll say.
Oh, so just go for use a scope musket.
Yeah, that's fine. You're pretty adept with firearms. Blam, 24 to hit.
Nice.
This does, of course, lead the Fennecs to scatter wildly through the ship.
Oh.
Say, oh, we're out of here.
They are panicking and running to the back.
Sorry, kids.
All right. Where the impact hits the ice shelf, it was a very good shot, but you see it slam into the ice and it creates a vertical crack. Doesn't split wide open or come apart, but it does create a large vertical crack in the ice.
Right. Let's fire again, but we're gonna aim at we should aim at the upper part of the crack.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's one
Okay.
more shot.
Roll to hit.
Let's do. Oh, wrong one.
And have you got like the whole thing where you can like take your time and aim your shot and get advantage?
Yeah, I do have. Well, yeah, I do have steady aim. So as a bonus action on my turn, I can take careful aim.
But it's basically hitting an AC 10. You're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just making sure.
So yeah, no, your second shot, it hits where you're aiming, and you see it crack in. The vertical split gets wider, but it also begins to spider web out very drastically. A lot more particulate matter is stirred up. Little pieces of chunks of ice start coming off the shelf, but it's still holding for now.
Do we want to back up a little bit before my next shot?
Are you calling up to the
Yes.
to the helm with
Yeah.
it?
Yes. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna go ahead and call up and say, can you take a look in with your perspective? Do you, might be best if we back up a bit before I fire again, just in case.
Just in case it like
Because
avalanches or something.
Yes, because if it's taking this much to break through it, then it
Mm.
could be a bit more, a lot more material than we expect. We don't want it coming down on the Ortiz, right?
Church, how far are we from the maximum range of the cannons?
It's about 120. Although, unless the rock face itself of the cavern comes down with it, you should be safe where you're at.
Okay. All right. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna take another shot because we have more than one cannon loaded, right? Or we can reload it, right?
Yeah, no problem.
Church rolls a 100. The rock face of the cavern comes down with it.
Rocks fall.
Another
Everyone
solid hit.
dies.
Another
Classic.
solid hit. Okay. So yeah, this one hits. You can hear the groaning and creaking of the ice, the crack, 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 as it starts to just splinter off in large pieces until finally it just small scale. It just explodes, more or less. Not enough to throw pieces at the Ortiz or anything. It's not dangerous, but it breaks apart violently, and large amounts of particulate matter, large amounts of ice just all flow out. And it does reveal what appears to be a pocket of air, a hollow beyond the shelf.
Interesting. Okay. Well, at this point, Uki is going to err on the side of caution and say, well, that seemed to do a bit of work. What do you think? No. How's it look from your spot? What should we do? What should we do next?
Listener confers with Genesis a moment. I believe we should let the ice settle. Patience will see us a more stable surface to climb. Does that look like daylight to you?
I lean closer and try to see.
Are you looking into the opening?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Good. Good, 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 good.
Um,
That means.
narrow my eyes.
Dun, 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 dun.
I'm about to
Boom.
roll another D100. Oh, hey.
Ooh.
Through the opening, this is what you see. A large wooden galleon, resting listlessly on its side, frozen in time and in the ice, next to which you see a small dinghy, and in the foreground there, a very old looking, what appears to be abandoned campsite.
Hmm.
Now,
That's
that
it.
behind it, is that sky?
No,
or
it's
is that
it's ice.
ice roof?
Ice, yeah, ice roof.
Okay, okay. So let me go explore. Right,
Hmm.
Uki's out of action for now.
You can pull the Orti through the opening. It's big enough.
We should do that, man. I don't trust him.
We got to be careful. All right.
Yeah, which means we
I
should
mean-
go through the thing instead of taking the suits, which clearly I gestured to the one that's ruined on the floor, still probably steaming with void energy.
Hey, look.
Dun dun.
What's a little void energy between friends?
Death is what it is.
Well,
Well,
that's fair.
thing is, okay, but the thing is, for me, it's better risking one person's life than risking everybody's.
But you're not listening. What evidence do we have that this is like a life-threatening situation for us to just move the ship a
The
few feet?
water, everything about it. I mean, if the ship tilts to the side of the shifting ice and the water comes into the ship, we're all knackered.
Mm. Still don't think you should go alone. That's very weird.
Hmm.
Kaz, it will be more safe to maneuver the Orti, though it may come with some risk. We can at least turn the cannons on any assailants that may come after any of you.
Hey, look. Like I said, if the ship tilts in that ice, and we've just blown that crap up, it's not exactly the most stable of stuff.
We must allow it a few
I mean-
hours' time to settle and stabilize.
I mean, I'll take the general vote of the majority and everything like that, but yeah, if you guys want to wait and see and we all go up, then fine, I'll do that. But I don't want to risk all of us in one go.
Not
Is what
really.
I'm saying.
It's fine. Risk all of you.
Kaz, when Wilhelm and I climbed the previous site to examine the encampment there, you remember we saw that something had driven them, every last one of them, mad. They
And
stood,
so-
banging their heads against the wall
And
until they
so,
expired.
exactly my point. If I go up there and there's something like that there, it only affects me. If we all go up there and it affects all of us, that's not good. I mean, at least if I'm going crazy, you guys can drag me back and maybe do something to save my mind. But if we all go there and we're all captured in whatever enchantment or whatever goes on, that would be bad.
All of us, perhaps a poor idea, as you have said. But alone, never, never alone. Just one could succumb so easily.
But
I
you'd
have
be
another
able to
idea.
see it. Ooh.
Perhaps a compromise. Don't want to send everybody, don't want to send one by themselves. How about we just send 2 people?
That worked out well
Yeah.
last time.
And
We
it
check.
did actually work out well because Kaz was able to pick up Uki's supplies when she dropped them.
Hmm.
If Uki had been by herself, she wouldn't have her tinkerer's tools right now because Kaz wouldn't have been able to pick them up.
We've got to choose the best suits. We got to double check them and check them again, and then probably check them a third time.
This is my idea. Okay, so the person that's going to wear the suit does a check. Then they hand the suit to the next person in the line. Each person checks that suit. Each person in this ship checks the suit at least once. Okay. And then we do the same thing with the other suit. So we're sure. So we're certain. Okay. We can't mess this up. Does that sound workable?
Regardless of how many people go to explore this wreckage and this camp, I still suggest we pull the Orti up. She is sturdy and stable. I fear not the terrain.
I mean, yeah, get her a little bit closer for sure, but
Well,
maybe if you and
bring the ship
I,
up as well.
maybe if you and I, listener, you and I go up there, suited up. You're connected to me mentally if something goes awry. You're connected to, you know.
Old first mate up here. Hi.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we've got a chain of
Indeed,
command.
and I can scout the way, as any surviving dead will take no notice of me, and
Exactly.
anything besides the dead, well, with luck they will not see me.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. You know, you and I are probably the best choice. If something does happen, then we're the most liable to survive the situation.
I do wish Uki had not suffered so terrible an injury.
You and I both.
Let us confer with all and
I just don't want to
settle our
risk.
plans.
I just don't want to risk everybody in one go. Is all I'm saying.
We shall make a scouting expedition of ourselves. Engage in no significant and strenuous work, but come to understand the situation that presents.
Exactly. Slow and steady wins the race.
Church, I do believe we've hashed out a plan.
Sounds good.
We even did it in character this time. Wilhelm's on board with bringing the ship up.
Yes, he did make that vote.
As a doctor, he of course desires us to not expose ourselves repeatedly to the plague water.
Which, I mean, it's fine. You can. It's no big deal.
No big deal. Yeah.
No big deal. It's good. It's fine.
So, let's implement.
Yes.
Yeah.
We, as I said, we give it a little while to settle. We don't want the ice to be still kind of,
Shifting.
any unstable position. We want to let the weight of the things really get them into a nice low potential spot.
Okay. So we're bringing it up then?
We will bring her up.
All right. Well, in that case, let's do this. Map change.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Make sure. Can you guys move your? Yeah, you guys should be able to move your tokens.
Oh, we're so small.
Ooh. Ooh.
Okay.
So, first thing you notice, for those of you who are stepping out of the Orti as you pull it up onto the ice shelf, is it is frigid. It is icy cold in here. And by icy cold, I'm talking probably about 10 below.
Oh, ouch.
So, listener, you're going to immediately begin to stiffen up. Like, you can feel it. The water in your system is already starting to kind of try to crystallize.
Not ideal. I bundle up in the cloak that I wore to cross the desert.
Very good. Very good. The rest of you, with the exception of Uki, are also feeling the cold. Like, this is very cold.
I would like to point out that Saoirse's cloak and overdress are woolen, and while her Hero Forge mini does show her wearing short sleeves, in my head she is wearing like a long sleeve garment.
Oh, yeah. No, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. The main thing is, given too much time out in the open, you will begin to suffer from exposure. If you spend far too much time, things like hypothermia and frostbite will start to become problems.
Yep, let's make it quick.
There's always the option to start fires and stuff, though, so keep that in mind.
Very important,
In
yes.
ice.
Alright, so... let's do a couple of things before you start trucking into the encampment there. A few things. So I'm bundled up in my cloak. Is that providing me with a little bit of extra protection against the cold, Church?
It'll slow the process, yes.
Alright, in that case, I'll keep it on, and I'll make a stealth roll regardless, but I'm not really, translucent with the cloak on.
Oh, actually, rolled advantage, so we'll just take the first one then. Which is pretty decent.
Pure
Oh,
zero.
wow. Wow, listener. Not only...
Now, normally I'd have advantage to make that less likely to happen, but that only really counts when I'm translucent.
Yeah. I want to do the same thing bundling up, though, because, we still have that stuff from the desert.
I am so visible.
Just crunching along. Crunch,
Yeah.
crunch, crunch.
Kaz is the most silent, guy out there. Must be careful, must be careful. You just go, boom. Oh, yeah, sorry about that. Oh, yeah, I didn't mean to. Oh, shit, did I tread on that? Whoops.
I'm crunching. I'm walking stiff. I am an enormous desert cloak draped over 7 foot of, tree guy.
This would be
You're tripping over your own roots.
Fortunately, roughly half of the terrible things that can see me do not immediately desire to kill me.
That's true.
Fortunately.
That helps.
I am not looking forward to get out there freezing.
Hot broth. Nice.
Good. That won't hurt anything, that's for sure. So, the two of you are approaching the campsite.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so as you approach, the tents themselves are made of rawhide. There are numerous barrels and crates and whatnot around the campsite, and a thick layer of frost covers everything.
Yes.
The campfire in the center is nearly completely covered. Obviously has not been used for a long time. There are a lot of uncomfortable lumps in the frost and snow around the campsite.
That's great. I have 2 important questions regarding these. Firstly, do I see any spirits about?
Yes.
Tell me about them.
There are approximately a dozen spirits around the campsite, and too many to count around the ship.
Oh my. What are they up to?
Various things. Some of them are languishing, some of them appear to be sleeping, some are eating, one is dancing. The ones around the ship, for the most part, from what you can see, especially with the angle of the ship, it looks like just hundreds and hundreds of hands reaching through the surface, grasping at nothing.
That is terrible. And I am sure to tell Kaz all about it. Second thing, I'm going to use a new thing. I haven't used this yet. Bam.
Green side, alright.
My other handy trick picked up from the Carnival spellbook.
So, yeah. Let me see here. Invisible gases changing. Well, the temperature you're definitely seeing.
Oh, yeah.
I will say that you can immediately tell that the lumps in the snow are definitely covering bodies.
Mm.
They're not giving off any heat or anything. They're definitely long dead. Beyond that, you're not picking up anything really, at least at the moment. Nothing that would shock you as out of the ordinary.
Okay. I say to Kaz, here and here and here, these are corpses, but I do not yet know if they will walk when we approach. Allow me to proceed into the camp ahead of you.
Yeah. All right. You do that. I'm gonna go up this way, towards the life raft.
Yes. Again, cautious. These... Well, not these people, I suppose, but I am now suspicious of corpses stored in unusual places.
Gotcha.
Alright, so I will walk up into the campsite and make a good perception check around.
Okay. So let's go ahead and get your well, we'll start with perception.
Sure.
Okay.
Nice.
Good start.
So the first thing you'll notice, based upon that roll, is that nothing is moving. And when I say that specifically, I mean it is uncomfortably still. Nothing in this cavern is moving aside from the occasional bits of frost that filter down from the ceiling. It is still as the grave.
Well, unsettling though it may be, one could hardly expect any less. There is no wind, there are no growing plants, there is no life in this place.
Does not appear to be so.
Alright, what else do I see?
Well, for more, we'll have to go investigation if you want to investigate the site.
Of course. I will gladly investigate.
Okay.
I will not be prying open any boxes right at the moment. But the general state of the camp, effects left out, anything that would catch my eye in this manner.
Okay. Go ahead.
There you are.
All right. So, now the thing that strikes you, looking at the spirits, looking at the state of the camp, digging around a little, are you uncovering any of the bodies?
I would be very cautious in the first one that I do. They might still react to me if I begin taking any kind of actions near them, but if they seem to be completely at rest, long since buried by the frost descending, I might gently brush one back and see if it's the living dead or just the regular kind.
Right. So yeah, you brush one back, and it's a steely-eyed face of a human, almost perfectly preserved in the cold. His eyes are milky, glassed over, wide open. He almost looks like he's smiling as the lips are drawn back from the teeth. You can still see his beard, which is red. The skin has a grayish blue hue to it. The nose and ears seem to be blackened slightly from the cold, deteriorated to some degree, but he does not move. He's just frozen, solid, in place, lost in time. The main thing that sticks out as you do begin your investigation, though, is that there are no signs of violence. That looks like they were sitting, eating, sleeping, and just died.
Incredibly unusual. And the spirits are engaged in relatively normal activities?
Yeah. Not the usual screaming, agonizing death type things you see.
Okay. I think over to Kaz. The dead here are unusually calm. It seems that they were not taken by madness as the last were, or by violence. What have you found?
Just about to find out now.
Mm-hmm. So Kaz makes his way to the dinghy.
The dinghy.
Kaz,
Mm-hmm.
give me a perception roll.
Okay. Okay. Perception. Okay. Oh, I like perception rolls. I always get advantage.
Good.
19. Yes.
Good. So you're poking around this old wrecked dinghy. There's really not much of note in it. It's destroyed. You might be able to salvage some of the wood for the value of the wood, but even the wood is slightly damaged because it's been in the frost for so long. No, none of that is really too relevant to you, but you get the weird sensation that you're being watched. And you look up at the galleon, and standing atop of it, right about here, you see a canine-looking head, black as pitch, with two beady eyes, immediately duck down out of sight when you look that direction.
Okay, well, yeah, okay. Mentally back to listener go, yeah, we got bogies on the ship. We got like dog type, canine type things. They spotted me. We could have incoming any minute.
I'm sure it's just a lycanthrope. You're fine.
Yeah, they're no issue.
Yeah.
Has it not attacked you?
It ducked out of sight.
Oh. Well, that's rare.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, rare. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is not good. I have not heard from them in some time.
You can see us poking around out there.
Ping, ping.
Yeah.
How's it going?
It goes strangely. The encampment is full of the dead, as is usual, but they are strangely peaceful. Kaz has seen a dog, something similar, aboard the ship, he says, but it ducked away.
Could be getting friends.
Some caution may be due, but I do not feel we have yet reason to flee.
Oh, if it's a dog, why wouldn't it just bark?
Well, it could not be a dog, Genesis. This cavern has likely been sealed for many decades.
Okay, doggish. Hmm.
What is strange? I look around. You said there is no sign of any life whatsoever in this place. Everything is perfectly still.
Completely,
don't-
aside from what he saw.
I'm
Apart
about to-
from our own prints, is there any obvious tracking through the frost and snow of the cavern?
Nothing that you've seen. No.
I'm about to get jump scared, aren't I? I can already feel it.
Yeah. Kaz has been backing up using his same prints to Shredder. Using the
It's
same.
gonna be like a 5, 4, 3,
prints.
2, 1 roll for initiative type of situation. I can already tell. It's just,
All is well. All is well.
should we join you over there? Should we stay
Life
over
is
here?
good.
What's the safest? What do you think?
I do not feel any fear as of yet. Something is very unusual here, but not in the same manner as the room with the stained ceiling. Here it is simply calm.
Do you fear?
I have been learning.
Wasn't
Church?
for me, was it?
No. No.
Okay, so as I've been backing up church, and I've been keeping an eye on the big ship, has there been any other movement at all?
Well, some.
Uh-oh.
Some.
Uh-oh, I saw that.
Hello.
I see that.
Hello.
Hello. Oh no. Bogey.
Hello, doggy. Who's a good boy? He's a good boy.
Let's not go over there. Whatever
Would
that
you like
is,
to go
is
fetch a stick?
it's an undead boy. It needs to be over there without us. Okay,
So-
I see
No,
that.
it's a spirit boy. It's one of the goodest boys.
So yes, the blackened
It-
the blackened canine head rears up again.
Mhm.
Two piercing, glowing eyes staring out at you. It does not make any attempt to hide or act aggressively. It appears to just be watching you for the time being.
I have a question for you, Church.
What's that?
Do I feel a strange kinship with the watching dog? I observe it closely.
A kinship? I don't know. It's mainly just staring at you at this point. Like it's trying
This is-
to
Does-
maybe ascertain
does
what you're
Jeff-
up to.
Does Jeff feel my concern?
Jeff? Is Jeff out there with you?
Well, technically, I mean, we never brought him out from the ship, but he would be in the bottom of the ship by the well, the pool.
At the time being, he's not showing any concern. How about that?
Okay. I know they're generally quite closely connected, so.
One moment. And Church,
Hmm.
I would like to reach out psychically towards the distant canine.
Okay. You're reaching out psychically.
Yes.
All right. And are you saying anything in particular?
Simply open up with a greeting. I'll ask, hello. Who are you?
Who's a good boy then?
So as you reach out, you're immediately hit by a slapback.
Happens.
It doesn't feel like it's an attack or anything. It's more like you spoke into an echo chamber, and what comes back into your mind is your words in every language ever spoken all at once.
If I wasn't Oam, I'd probably have a trouble with that.
Yeah, it's even overwhelming for you, just because it's so much all at once, and it's so much even you don't understand language-wise.
I take a moment to filter it down to an acceptably tuned level.
Yeah, it happens pretty quickly. It's over pretty quick.
Okay.
I kind of cock my head and look at it from a distance.
Now see, Kaz is trained in animal handling. Is its behavior so far like relative to any other animal that he's ever seen?
Well, so far it hasn't done anything. It's just standing there watching you.
And it looks canine, right?
Solid black
Canine.
with 2 glowing eyes.
Great. Wonderful. Okay. I'm gonna make an animal handling check.
Okay.
And try and coax it to come closer, not in a threatening way, you know. Just, hey, come on, come say hello, you know. That kind of thing.
It cocks its head at you, sideways.
Come on, boy.
Kind of gives you a
Come say
puzzled
hello.
look.
Come on. Come say hi. Come on, shake a paw. Come on.
You could swear it just shook its head at you, almost as if, like, what the hell, dude, type. And then it hops down off the boat, back out of sight.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely smarter than the average dog.
Yes. It is oddly hollow inside, but possessed of something very unusual.
That's so scary.
I mean, the word hollow wasn't gonna be first in my mind, but
Rah!
Oh, it's big! Oh, it's big! It's big now! Oh no! What did I just say? What did I just say? What did I just say? I'm gonna be jump scared and I can feel it. It's big now. Oh no! Oh no!
love it.
I couldn't
That was
resist.
The
hilarious.
listener's not
Resist.
particularly afraid of this thing. It's just not.
Yeah,
It's not doing anything that he doesn't do all day. Stand places and look at things.
It's a big black dog. Hang on, let me redeem a
Literally
name
black dog,
generation for Clifford.
So, yeah, to Kaz. Apart from the cold, I feel it is safe to explore further here.
Yeah, I mean, as long as no one upsets the whatever the hell that is.
Yes, that creature. We had best observe it, but it seems
Non-aggressive.
yes.
Ish. Let's hope it's not a mother with pups.
All right, so Church, we got a couple minutes left. I'd like to more thoroughly investigate the materials of the camp.
Okay.
I did a little poking around, but now I'm looking specifically for people's papers, any artifacts of the ship that might help explain what it was doing out here, like in the middle of an enormous ice floe.
All right. Give me a perception check, please.
Ooh, rather low this time.
Oh dear.
All right. So you're digging around. You sense a presence behind you.
It moved! Oh no!
I
Oh,
rotate to face the dog.
It's not just. Yeah. Okay. So it's a blink black dog.
So, well, it didn't
Hey,
necessarily
creatures,
blink, but it's also just about looking you in the eyes, listener.
Oh, tall boy.
Yeah. Still solid black, almost so black that you have a hard time making out details on the body, except for the two glowing eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Is it on all fours?
Yes.
Oh no,
Largest boy.
that's the biggest boy.
It's obviously a little hard to read the thing's expression, but I would like to kind of do what the Ogham do and just stand there and observe the creature, glean its intent, see what it's interested in me for.
Which is hilarious because that's exactly what it's doing to you. You guys are having a stare off right now.
Right? I'm telling you.
It's a
Same
blink
hat.
Yeah.
It's a who blinks first competition.
Infinite patience is here.
It's on both sides of the coin too. Plus, I don't think either one of you actually blink ever.
It's like probably an undead dog. It never blinks.
Listener being the more talkative of the two, if only by a little. Can I tell it's giving me the eye, trying to figure me out?
That's not really hiding it. He was when you turned around, he was watching you dig through stuff. I think he's trying to figure out. You would probably be able to tell he's trying to figure out what you're up to.
Yeah. Okay. So Kaz, if he notices this, is literally not going to move from where he is currently, up until something happens, like hostile-wise. He's just going to stand perfectly still and just observe. That's his plan.
Okay. And at this point, those of you on the RT who are watching can see the dog very well.
Yeah, Saoirse's watching this with curiosity.
I will address the dog once more, attenuating in advance to account for the feedback. I am listener. I speak to the dead. My friends and I were passing, and we wish to know what happened here. Perhaps find means of escape.
Is the plant-based lore?
So once you do still get some of that slap back, your words coming back, like I said, just filtered through every language imaginable. The creature cocks its head at you curiously, kind of looks you up and down, sniffs at you a couple times, gives you a little huff, and just continues to stare.
I've got plenty of staring left in me, so that's not so bad. You know, this is one of those moments where being disconnected from the Ogham Collective has its downsides, because, you see, normally, listener is accustomed to being able to query the nature of any creatures he might run across.
Just ask Google.
Just ask Google. Just phone a friend.
Yeah.
But he can no longer do this. That's a choice that he made. And as a result, he has no idea what this thing is, and probably never will. Which is a little funny because their natures, if it is what I think it is, are quite similar.
Yeah.
Can I ask a weird question?
Yeah.
So, out of character, I know what these things are, just because I have seen them in the past, and just from my knowledge of real world folklore, like, it's pretty obvious to me.
Yeah.
But would Saoirse know, especially after she had kind of a up close and personal moment with the goddess Sinufe, like
If
just right there feeling her energy like in her face.
I'll let you make a religion check.
Okay.
Are we all thinking it's a black dog?
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, Saoirse will actually remember an old tale about the Churchgrim guarding usually a graveyard type situation, but looking out at this landscape, you feel like it would apply.
I mean, it could also be one of the creatures that's stopping any of the dead from rising again, right?
That would be
So
a useful
Saoirse-
service around these parts.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Saoirse would know that they're pretty benign. As long as you
As long as
don't
you yeah, as long as you respect their territory.
Yeah, I mean, if we could, say, hey, we could really enlarge your territory to all of the world.
Listen, there are
If-
so many dead out there.
Yeah, so-
everywhere. Oh, come with us. Honestly, it'd be great.
So-
It'd be great fun.
At Saoirse remembering this, she is going to hop down off of the Orti and walk up to Listener with her cloak drawn around her, and she's just going to tell Listener like what this is.
Okay.
I'm going to,
Okay.
and I'm terrified, but I'm going.
All right.
But I'm going.
She'll tell this to Genesis too.
Crazy
Alright.
people.
Still
You
terrified.
come up on Listener while he's still in the middle of his staring contest.
So yeah, the Churchgrim watches the two of you approach. No, not even the slightest hint of surprise or nervousness. Just nonchalantly staring at all three of you now.
Alrighty.
I nod at the dog.
It nods back.
He's a good boy.
Okay.
You heard that, Genesis?
He nods back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so Saoirse is going to look at the dog and say, "We don't wish to disturb the dead here, but if it's okay, we do wish to look at some of the notes, artifacts, and things that are around. Not to take them, but simply to look. Is that okay?"
So he looks at you, curious now that somebody has verbally addressed him. Listens to what you said. Kind of looks down at the body that Listener uncovered, and with his nose kind of nuzzles snow back over the face, and then looks at you.
You Saoirse, you Listener.
Saoirse.
Kaz raises his arms. What? We can't disturb the dead bodies at all? Just stuff?
It's very reasonable.
Yeah.
Well, we won't disturb any other bodies. We just want to see old notes. We just would like to find out what happened here.
Can I do a thing?
You can always do a thing.
I would like to try to use my empathic abilities on the dog.
You're gonna get the same kind of slap back.
Well, that's fine. I'm not using any negative empathic emotions, you know? It's all good. Just sending the dog the satisfaction of a job well done.
He's a good boy.
You're telling the church grim that he's a good boy. I love it.
Deep down, he appreciates it.
Your little tail wags.
Who's a good doggy?
He's a good boy. He's a good
You're
boy.
such a good boy.
But I'm not giving him baby talk either at the same time. I want to make that very clear. I'm sending him the emotion of doing a job well and knowing that you've done it well. Because to stay here as long as he has and guard these bodies as long as he has, he's done an excellent job. Despite any dog parallels.
Listener stoops to help scoop a little more snow back over the body. And he asks Saoirse, can they speak? Clearly it is wise, but can they speak?
From what I remember of the tale, I don't believe they can speak, but they can understand everything that we tell it.
Such a pity. There was so much I wished to ask.
Yeah, they're intelligent, but they don't talk. They'll understand anything you say to them in any language, though.
I'm going to have things to tell it, but I'll save it for next time. I want to prepare a tiny monologue for good boy.
Okay. And we can actually we can cut it here. It's not anything dire, but we can come right back to this point.
First non-cliffhanger in a while.
Yeah. That we know of.
No.
All right. So yeah, we'll call it here. Excited that you guys get to meet the Church Grim.
Yeah.
We'll see where this goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for joining us, you guys watching at home. Yous who will, won't, maybe, kind of, sort of will, have, etc., etc. Well, it's always a pleasure. We'll be back. We're coming back Friday. No, Monday.
Well,
Monday for Conan, Friday for Star Wars. I think.
We're not yet decided. Friday might be Tower, as a matter of fact.
That's right.
Friday is Tower.
Friday is Tower. So
Friday's
Friday
Tower.
we'll be back for Tower, which that's a secret
Yes.
game you guys don't get to see, but we'll tell you all about it.
Yeah, I might have
so
cut
good.
some of the unlicensed content from it, so we'll have to talk about that.
Yeah, that's fine. And the slot's open, so no worries. And then, of course, Saturday we'll be back for Sigil Confidential.
Yes.
Woo. Oh no.
Yes.
We did have
No.
a cliffhanger on that one, so yeah, don't miss that
And
because
of course, we absolutely know what's happening there.
we've got some
yeah,
insanity
we're
coming.
gonna die.
No, we're not gonna die. This is the whole, these are bad guys, and also the enemy of thine enemy, so therefore they're our friends, kind of. They could eat our brains.
Could be.
Indeed.
I don't have the charisma for that conversation, so I'm just gonna hang back. And let the gigantic
Right.
room-sized mind discuss
Don't
things
worry.
with my otherworldly boss.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Yeah,
It's all good.
just-
Yeah.
Don't worry. This is a noir story. In a noir story, you don't fail because of the evils of your enemy, but because of your own good intentions.
That's exactly right. Yes.
Cool,
That's usually how that goes.
I should
I'll
have
be back
known
here.
when she walked into my room that she was one of those bad broads. I should never took the case.
Always.
Wait, let me ring up the let me connect the typewriter and get to clacking. I never actually got to use that for the sound effect. I really want to do it. You gotta ping me next time you do that voice, so I'm ready.
All right. Well, in that case, we will see you.
Yes. You will.
Have a good one, guys.
Good night,
Good night, guys.
everyone.
Good
Good
night.
night, everyone.
Night.